Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
It's the Thursday edition of Nevada Newsmakers. One more day to try and create some heat. Andy's got the rundown.
Today we talked to Assemblywoman Dawn Gibbons. Besides sitting on the important Ways and Means Committee, Dawn Gibbons has sponsored legislation regarding organ transplants. We discussed that and taxes. And Jon Killoran is our media guest this week. News director of KRNV, he tells us about legislative coverage. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And on our pundit panel, Joe Brezney with the Republican Party, Greg Ferraro, he's the managing partner of R&R. And we also have Andy Barbano on the barbed wire. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Earn triple cash points every day during February at the Gold Dust West. To celebrate, we're bringing back the classics.
Earn once, twice, 3 times the points.
With triple cash points, you'll remember.
Win 3 times.
3 times the cash. Triple cash points happens the entire month of February. You'll enjoy.
3 is the winningest number.
3 times the cash. All day, all machines, all month. Using your Gold Rush card in February will be music to your ears.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV park.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of Firestone roofing products for any type of roof, from commercial to industrial and residential. With a Firestone roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado, and live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno's shining star. Live the excitement.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Dawn Gibbons is on the Ways and Means Committee in the Assembly, Taxation and Commerce and Labor, and she's also involved in something that's top of the news lately.
Dawn, thank you for being with us this morning. We want to ask you, we've just seen this big controversy at Duke Hospital about the young lady who lost her life after having organs donated. And this is a situation, you've been involved in this kind of thing for a long time. So, in Nevada, is it difficult to donate organs?
Well, no, we have tried very diligently to make it easier for people to donate organs. And we do it through the DMV. And we now have a system that can be accessed all through the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you're a Nevada donor on your license plate. Because then we put Nevadans first, unlike what other hospitals do. So that organ, if it had been a Nevada person, or they were trying to get an organ from a Nevadan, then they would seek out a Nevadan first.
All right, and I have heard some criticism from people about the fact that this young lady was an illegal alien and was at the top of the list for receiving organs. How is that determined, do you know?
Well, and I think in that particular situation, somebody really malpracticed the patient. But on the same token, it takes 4 to 6 hours to harvest. That's as long as you can harvest the heart. So I imagine that they probably did not know she was an illegal alien. I don't even think they would have refused her under those circumstances. And we
The
do
hospital.
have right, and correct. And we do have laws protecting U.S. citizens, where 5% of all organs that donated by U.S. citizens, no more than 5% can go out of the country to aliens.
Okay. And one would hope that there's a certain humanitarian level that goes on here in our hospitals. And that's not the first thing that we check up on. That's a personal opinion.
No,
but
I agree with you, and I think those doctors, they were just probably in there to save this little girl's life as quickly as possible, and they really probably trusted someone else had this information, because I would imagine they had very little time to do the transplant because she was dying, and so it was just a matter of just seconds and minutes.
But in Nevada, there is a preference given where donated
that was
organs.
my legislation, my first term, just to ensure that Nevadans come first, because we're such a small state with a small population, and we are in with California, who has large populations. So they have sick people, that kind of list. Our list is like this, and our people just go at the bottom. So we wanted to ensure that our people get taken care of.
I wanted to change topics on you. For those that don't know, your husband is Jim Gibbons, our congressman.
Yes.
And he was on the program yesterday, and he was very strongly in favor of cutting the budget, not increasing taxes. He says there's still more things to cut. Do you agree with him?
Now, I'm on the Ways and Means Committee, and remember, I'm a business person, okay, so I have a business background. And when times were bad, I would kind of go out there and look at the customers and see what they were doing. You know, it used to be Bill Hara, myself, Don Carano, Nat Carosello, Bill Paganetti. We walked the streets up and down and really studied the customers. Now's the time for me as a public servant to study what Nevadans want. I go in the grocery store still, and you know, I stay in contact with my constituents because they know me. This is my third time around.
Okay, what's the answer to the question?
Okay.
Assemblyman Gibbons.
The answer to the question is we are working on it, because on the one hand, business people, they're struggling right now. The economy's poor, and we don't want to hurt them in their ability to make a living. On the other hand, the university is just, they don't have enough room to put the students. The students can't get classes.
Okay, so we give you only one hand. Which hand are you going with?
I think I can find a better idea, and I've talked to the governor about this. He says, you know, I propose these taxes. If you don't like them, you come back with me with some other answers. And that's what I'm working on, and I think I can come up with a better plan.
I've got one quick question for you here before I let Andy go. And that is, will you support the governor pushing through his bat tax to increase it by 300%?
No, I don't like that. I think that's a head tax, and that hurts business people, it hurts employees, and when a war starts in a couple of weeks, unemployment's going to go up.
Gross receipts tax.
Gross receipts tax, I think that still has the head tax in it. And I think rather than a gross receipts tax, we ought to look at just a flat tax. If you make $1 million to $5 million, pay $1,200. You'd pay $1,200 on the gross receipts tax. So people can understand that. And I just think that we need to be a little more simpler in government, and I think we can achieve all the same goals.
Don Gibbons, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers right after this timeout.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today, because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. 7 award-winning dining choices. Experience the Atlantis Seafood Steakhouse tonight. Winner of Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence. The local choice for food and fun, Atlantis.
Atlantis.
At Sushi Club, everybody's family. That's what makes dining here so much fun. The sushi is consistently better, the atmosphere is great, and the service is wonderful.
Welcome to the bigger and better Sushi Club. Come in for our delicious daily specials.
When you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Hi, may I please make an appointment?
What if you called for help and no one answered?
Hi, I'd like to make
What if that help was for your unborn child? Lawsuit abuse has created a healthcare crisis, making it difficult for women to find doctors, driving good doctors out of Nevada and leaving us without healthcare. We're protecting the doctors of Nevada, and we need your help. Call 800-784-4730 now. Tell your legislator to support Keep Our Doctors in Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Andy Engleman.
We start this segment with a disclaimer. Jon Killoran, news director of KRNV, is a longtime friend of mine. It won't help him.
Jon, thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'd like to know, first of all, what kind of coverage the station's going to do for the legislature this session.
A lot more than you've probably seen in the past, and simply because I think, as we've all chronicled, is that this is going to be the most important legislative session that we've had in well over 50 years. And you know, it's a responsibility on our end, I think, to keep people as informed as possible. Just today, we're working on a story with Nevada's death penalty now coming to question. Senator Joe Neely's always putting that bill out, but with what's happened recently in Illinois with the commutation of death penalty sentences there and what's happening in other states around the country, it's probably going to get a lot more look-see than it does. So that's one story we're working on today. And
legislators complain to me often that they'll have an important hearing at 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. and television is never there. Can you explain that, please?
Well, you know, I think in the past it's probably been indifference. I think that the legislature is looked at as a long process by the media, and that a lot of things don't happen very quickly, and they all seem to steamroll towards the end. I think that in the past you've seen then those key issues, and especially if you get to a special session, people pick it up. I think now you're going to see a lot more difference. Like I say, the first thing we talked about in our morning meeting this morning was that death penalty issue coming up, and we're going to work most of the day on that. Trying to work around those schedules now. I think local news organizations are more of a 24-hour operation than they have been in the past. I know we staff our station, 5 days a week, 24 hours, and the weekends we don't do a morning show, but I think that helps as well. In the past, that probably hasn't been the case.
Bruce Arledge went from being the head of ABC Sports to being the head of ABC Sports and News. There seems to be a connection between being a sports director and now being a news director. How does this benefit you?
Well, you know, for me it was more of a living thing as well. I mean, I've now, I guess what you call almost native. I've been out here 23 years, and the decision for me was to redefine the career here locally or to try and find sports somewhere else, and I've chosen Northern Nevada as my home, and I want to keep it that way. Also, there's a great challenge in what's going on today. There's big decisions being made because of what's going on in the world as well as our state. And it's kind of, there's a sports attitude to it. I don't want to equate it to a game, but instead of that adrenaline level coming up when you're at a game and there's a big moment, there aren't too many news days that go by where there aren't a few adrenaline moments.
So people that are in this business, if they want to move ahead, do you advise them to get into sports?
Everybody has a different career path. I've enjoyed mine immensely, but I don't think there's any one right way to really be in this business.
All right, you've been advising the University of Nevada on their key message strategy, essentially a public relations effort. Does that compromise your ability to air negative stories about the university system, UNR in particular?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, again, to go to today's menu, the Mackey School of Mines has come into question with some of the restructuring they're trying to do. And you know, it's a very prominent school that's got a lot of national attention over the years and put out a lot of great graduates. And now they're talking about making it, the administration, as part of a College of Sciences. There was a protest last week that we covered. There are hearings today between the Senate on the campus and students and people that are concerned about it. We're definitely going to be there to cover that. I think one of the things that I took as an interest in being as a part of that is I've been here long enough, went to the school. I think that there's always been that thought that the university sits above 9th Street and it's North Reno. And the city of Reno is South Reno, and they've never really worked well hand in hand. I think there's now a situation on the university where they're trying to make that happen, and there's a concerted effort, at least on my part as being somebody in the media who can have some influence, to see that they better know what we need, what the public needs from them in terms of communication.
You know, you're the second person that's brought that up this week. That's a very interesting point. Hispanic viewers become Hispanic voters. How are you dealing with that?
You know, what's amazing about that is I think that we all raised our eyes when the census figures came out. Certainly the Hispanic population is listed at 17%. I got to say it's probably a lot closer to 20% with some of the lack of reporting that goes around in all areas of the census. Certainly it's something that we've taken a look at when we've hired new people, especially our reporters out in the field. We are for the first time really making a concerted effort to find people who are bilingual, because we know there are going to be situations that are going to come up where we may be in a situation we just found out where, what was it, the percentage is 6% or so, where Hispanic, Spanish languages are the things that are talked about in the home. They're the first language. So we know we're going to have situations. We have to be able to respond to them no matter what. So it's something that at least we are looking at, and I think a lot more people are looking at as well.
And John, you tend to invite public comment.
Oh yeah.
Is that right?
I think that's probably of the sports background. I mean, in the old days doing sports, if you didn't get somebody calling in on a day after doing a sportscast, you figured you probably didn't do a good job, whether they were calling in with criticism or a compliment. I look at it the same way as news, whether we have emails, phone calls, anything coming up. Our viewers are our customers. That's the way you got to look at it, and we want to know as much as possible what they think of what's going on.
I find it very interesting, and I would like for the Spanish networks to start broadcasting a separate audio product in English, because I'd like to know what they're talking about and what's going on. I don't speak Spanish, but I'd like to know just as much as the Hispanic community gets a separate audio product of the English programs.
It's a great point, Sam, and I think that one of the things that you've seen, look at the things, you talk about friends, you were, now this will be my shameless thank you moment, one of my great mentors early on in my career, and I always
We all make
it.
mistakes, John.
Yeah, I know, you got to be pushed along. But the big thing, I think that what you bring up is look at all the things that have changed in the medium over the last 15 years. Convergence. We have a partnership with the Reno Gazette-Journal for hard news stories right now. 5 years ago, I don't think anybody would have talked about that possibility. There was also television and news, and
John,
they don't really like
John,
each other.
This is a fast-paced show. We got to go. We're
all right.
All right. Coming up next, the pundits. We have no time. We got to go.
Take a break and treat the family to breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Tamarack Junction. Enjoy pasta night on Wednesdays, Mexican on Thursdays, and seafood on Fridays. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amani Ranch Parkway.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of elk roofing products for any type of residential roof. With an elk roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
The Gold Dust West has another Club Card Challenge. Triple cash points all day, all machines, all month.
Okay, what's the catch?
None. Just use your Gold Rush card any day, anytime, and on any machine during the month of February, and you'll earn triple cash points.
Triple cash points on all machines?
On all machines.
Triple cash points anytime?
Anytime.
Triple cash points all day, all machines, all month, just for using my Gold Rush card? How do they give away that much cash?
Simple. February only has 28 days.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV park.
At Tamarack Junction, you can take advantage of fabulous food around the clock. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, give the oven and yourself a rest. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amani Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
We got to keep this show moving. We can't mess around here. Okay, the pundit panel. It's time for Barbano, Ande Barbano, who is a columnist for the Sparks Tribune. Joe Brezney joins us. He's the executive director of the Nevada Republican Party. And Greg Ferraro, president of R&R Partners. I misnamed him earlier. I'm promoting him back to president.
That's the nicest thing he's been called in a while.
Okay, Barbano, let's talk taxes. You got some tax news for us.
Well, I was just talking to a journalist this morning who was talking to Senator Joe
You can
Neal.
name him?
Ed Vogel of the Review-Journal is doing a follow-up, probably in Sunday's edition, on the
proposed gaming tax.
On the proposed gaming tax and the studies that Senator Neal presented to the Senate Taxation Committee last Tuesday. It's humorous to me that the studies are being viewed as astounding new evidence that the gaming tax needs to be raised. Senator Neal and I have been raising these issues, the issues of gambling addiction and the creation of low-wage jobs, for years. But as Victor Hugo said, the armies of the world combined are not as strong as an idea whose time has come. So, but the word Senator Neal gave Ed Vogel this morning is that the gaming tax increase bill is dead in committee as usual.
I think the problems that Senator Neal and Andy are trying to fix would be exponentially undermined if this tax were to go forward. It's precisely the problem that would grow instead of being reduced if they went forward with this tax scheme.
Let's talk politics a minute, though, Joe. We're talking about a bunch of senators, Republicans and Democrats, whose phones are ringing off the hook from the public saying, don't even think about raising my taxes unless you raise the tax on gaming, at least more than the 25%. What does that say to a lawmaker?
0.25%, quarter of 1%, not 25%.
Okay.
I would have corrected that too.
Yeah, right.
Well, lawmakers they've got to listen to their constituents. They've got to take their counsel, but they're also much closer to the problem. And they're going to keep their powder dry, take a lot of ideas in, try to make the hole that we've got to fill as small as possible, and then find the smartest way to fill it.
Yeah, the lawmakers are much closer to the problem. The gambling industry is the problem, and the lawmakers are too damn close to the gambling industry.
I don't think anybody buys that, Andy.
Oh, no, really?
I think you've been saying that, and Joe's been saying that for a long time, and I think certainly, not this Joe, Senator Neal. I think obviously the game industry knows it has a responsibility, and it stepped forward to meet its responsibility.
No, it
Early
hasn't.
during the task force hearings, it volunteered to self-impose a quarter of 1% tax on its non-gaming revenue. That tax does not exist today. It's willing to accept that burden and increase its
The state will owe the gambling industry money based upon the bat tax credits if that goes through as the commission suggested. The state will end up owing the gambling industry money.
We're still going to see how that's going to play out.
Well, Greg, I am hearing from both sides of the House, from various lawmakers, about raising the gambling tax up to 1%. You know, is that really going to kill gaming if that happened?
Well, I think the industry's been very clear about its position, and single taxing is not the way to go. That approach has been rejected.
Nobody's saying that.
Times.
Those were the words that the industry tried to put in Senator Neal's and my mouths Tuesday. Nobody's saying tax only gambling. What everyone is saying is tax gambling more.
I think Senator Neal's bill only talked about taxing the gambling industry.
But that's exactly what the bill was about.
Yeah, that's all that he wants to do.
There's lots of other bills to tax other taxes.
Okay, all right, enough. Let's move on. Okay, it's the end of the first month. Okay, what has been accomplished in this first month, and what are we looking for the second month, Greg?
Well, I think the first month let everybody better understand the dimensions and the depth of the financial problems. Of course, yesterday the governor introduced the 2 short-term revenue bills. So I think, like in any legislative session, this is no different. It takes 2, 3, 4 weeks to get going and getting the bills processed to where they can start scheduled hearings every day. I think we're right on pace to what we need to be doing.
Okay, Joe, your opinion?
Well, he kind of took the good words, and I wish I could have gone
Are you
first.
seeing much in the way of partisan politics?
No. Well, not until Andy sat down, but down at the legislature, I'm really not. I think that both on the Assembly side, the Speaker has been great to work with. He's been very cooperative. He's open to these ideas. And on our side, we may have different ideas on specifics as how to find a solution, but everyone that I've seen working and everyone that I've talked to, they have a common goal.
Oh, you know something? There are Republicans so far to the right of what you're talking about. They're not partisan in the middle. They're on the other side. They're saying they don't want to see these taxes raised. They don't want to see business getting hit.
I don't know a Democrat or a Republican that wants to see taxes raised at all. No one wants to.
I take umbrage at the allegation that either I or Senator Neal are being partisan in this debate. I submit that the gambling industry has enough Democrats and Republicans on both sides bought to have their way.
I think that's ridiculous.
They bought on a bipartisan basis? Or?
Absolutely. They bought from both sides of the shelf.
I don't think Andy can make a headline with that. I mean, that's just preposterous.
Isn't the young kids supposed to do the immature rhetoric thing and not talk about
All right, let's not get personal, guys. Let's back up here. Let's talk about the most ridiculous item of the month so far. Greg?
I think the suggestion that we rename the state Eastern California probably wins the award.
Okay, Joe?
I'm embarrassed to agree.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed that came from our party.
I
and
think you
it's
could have done better than
inexcusable.
this, Joe. You may not be coming back on the show. That's all I can tell you. Andy?
Yeah, I live in Carson City. I find that this assemblyman who came up with that idea is an embarrassment to
Yep.
Assembly District 40.
Absolutely.
The most embarrassing thing is that piddling $250,000 that the taxpayers are supposed to pay for gambling addiction. In this case, I agree with Governor Dudley Do Right's opposition to it. The gambling industry needs to pay for the impacts of addiction, and $250,000 from the taxpayers is a travesty.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come right back right here on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
If you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club. Year after year voted the best place for sushi. 11 chefs on staff to serve you. Better ingredients for consistent high quality. And lots of room, so bring your friends. Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado. And live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno shining star. Live the excitement.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, consistently voted Reno's best buffet by locals. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Apparently these guys are not done yet.
Yeah, Joe, there was a theory that Andy propounded yesterday that John Ensign in 2006 would run for governor, leaving his seat open for Jim Gibbons to walk into.
Well, Jon Ensign would make a great governor, but right now he has a federal election campaign account in place. He does not have a state election campaign account in place. His team is actively raising funds for his reelect. He is seeking leadership positions in the Senate, not something that I would characterize as a senator that's looking to jump ship. So as of right now, the Ensign campaign has no plans.
I got the hottest new political tip, Barbano in 06.
That's it. We're done. We're out of here. We'll see you Monday with Senator Harry Reid right here on Nevada Newsmakers.